Hello everybody, so I'm going to be telling you everything that you need to know about packing for Kenya and how to survive. So right now I've got everything laid out, perfect for your trip to Kenya, all the food and clothes and gear that you'll need, and we're going to be talking about all of them. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is water. So I'm going to be taking both of these Nalgene with me. They're each a liter apiece, and they're practically indestructible. I've actually boiled water on these before, so they've really actually held up for the amount of time that I've had them. Both of these will be staying in my backpacking backpack here that I'll be taking with me on the plane. All right, and in this backpack I've also got a water bladder in here, right? So this is a 2.5 liter water bladder that is really, really nice because not only does it have a little place inside my backpack, but also has a little tube that I can drink out of, just like that. And a very nice little easy close system right here where I can fill it up very easily via the top port right here. So both of these will be going in my backpack here, and I'll be taking them with me on the plane, empty of course, and I'll fill it up once we get in the airport. Second thing that I'll be bringing with me is my passport with my immunization records. Everything, just keep that right there. Then my wallet, take my wallet with me. And then all my travel documents, I'll just put in a folder, which I'll put back in here. This has got stuff like, all the immunization records, some more passport stuff, the notaries, signatures, whatnot. All that will go in this folder. And then I'll take my laptop with me with its sleeve and its charger, and I'll just put that in my backpack. Finally, a t-shirt, a spare t-shirt, just in case I get cold or I need it on the airplane. Then I'm going to be taking 2 books with me. I'll take my SAT prep book and then a school government. Here are the clothes I'm going to actually be wearing on the airplane. So during the day, I'll just have a belt on me. I'll have my Crutches for Africa t-shirt on me as well, and then some really nice breathable pants that I'll just wear on the airplane. I recommend that you guys wear pants in the airplane just because it will get kind of cold, and if you are cold, then make sure that your pants will help. So now let's go on and really tackle the meat of this right here. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is actually the footwear, right? So I'm going to be bringing with me my good pair of boots here. These are my pair of backpacking boots. These have probably over like 100, 200 miles on these things, and they really, really hold up against anything that I'm getting thrown at. Then I've got my tennis shoes, some very simple tennis shoes here. I use these for cross country. I love these things because they're very comfortable, very easy to wear. Then I've got some flip-flops or some shower shoes that I'll just take with me, just in case, whatever I need them for. And then over here, I've got my day pack. So this is what I'll be taking with me on a day-to-day basis, just like the other one over there that I'll be taking with me on the airplane. This thing has also got room for a water bladder to fit inside, as well as space for all of my documents, my passport, my wallet and whatnot, some first aid kits, some gloves, whatever you need in there. This thing's really nice because it's very foldable and very compressible, so I'll put this in one of my suitcases, or at least in the duffel bag. Moving on, I've got my sleeping bag. This is a collapsible sleeping bag that's rated for negative 40 degrees. This thing's really nice and it's lasted me a long time. I plan to take this with me instead of a bed sheet and a bed cover because I can literally lay down in this, I don't care where. It'll keep me dry and it'll keep me warm. So with that in mind, then I've actually got this thing right here. This is a collapsible sleeping pad, something that'll blow up with air, and this will replace some more of the bedding and the bed sheet covers in case we don't happen to have those at the places that we're staying. Then I've got a simple little pack cover right here. This will be able to cover not only my suitcases or my day pack and my airplane pack, but it's waterproof as well. So that means that any chance that we get coming into rain or moisture, it'll keep all that stuff off my clothes. Then I've got my fleece here. This is my nail fleece, which I'll be taking with me to West Virginia tomorrow, actually. And this is something that's very light, very warm, so huge benefit with that. And then on here, I've also got my raincoat, all right? So my raincoat will be able to fit over my jacket if I need it. And this thing is very nice, very breathable. It's got mesh down the side pockets right here and underneath the armpits like that. So even if we're going to be, encountering some humid climates, I'm still going to be nice and cool that way. Next up, I want to talk about the importance of Ziplocs. Ziplocs here will definitely be your friend, okay? In this Ziploc bag, I've got all of my underwear that I'll be wearing, right? So I can stuff all my underwear, all my clothes in here in the Ziploc bag, sit on it or compress it down, and then zip it up that way. This way, it'll be able to take up the least amount of space possible, and I'm essentially just vacuum sealing all my crap. All right. So I've got my underwear here. I've got all of my socks here. I'm taking all of my socks, or most of my hiking socks with me. These socks are really nice because a lot of them are thick and very layered, and so it'll keep the dust and the dirt off of these and keep my feet dry. Then I've got some regular, technical socks that I'll be wearing with my tennis shoes. After that, I've got my travel pillow, right? So this is just a collapsible pillow that can actually be folded up. This thing's really nice. I take this with me backpacking, and it's lasted a really long time. So something really light like this, something that you can compress down very easily, is what I would recommend. Then I've just got some blank white t-shirts here. I'm actually going to be taking these with me to nail. But over here, I've got my technical t-shirts, right? So I've got about, let's see, what is that, like 6 technical t-shirts, and all of these are very light, very comfortable t-shirts that I'll just be wearing on a day-to-day basis, right? Then I've got 4 long sleeve t-shirts. So over here, I've got all of my long sleeves. These are very light long sleeve t-shirts that'll keep the sun off my forearms when I'm working. I've got one that's just kind of cottony, one that's dry fit, and then I've got 2 that are kind of special shirts here. They're both kind of Columbia style t-shirts, which are really nice because I use these for fishing all the time, and they work really, really well to keep the sun off of me. They're also rollable, so I can roll the sleeves and just tie them off like that. So these are a great investment. Then over here, probably something that I won't be using too often is a collared shirt that I've got right here, just a white collared shirt and a tie for if we go to church or whatever, meet anybody important. And then I've just got my IDC shirt here with me. For those of you that are probably in IDC, you might want to take it with you. Just be advised, I'm going to be putting all my pins in a different bag, in a different plastic bag. Okay, so moving on to pants now. I'm going to take with me like a couple pairs of pants right here. I believe I've got about 4 different pairs of pants. These pants are really nice because they're lightweight and they're actual pants. Not only can they function as kind of like a zip-off short option, but they're actually very breathable as well. So when I take off these shorts out of here, you can pretty easily see how this can be converted very quickly, very easily. So I'm going to take with about 4 of these pairs right here in my pile here. I use these for backpacking all the time. And then I'll still take with me that I was carrying on the plane this longer pair of pants that unfortunately don't have those zip shorts on there. But these are still very nice pants to use. It'll keep bugs and stuff off of you as well. So moving on to shorts. Now it is going to be really, really hot, and what I love to do, especially in backpacking, is actually carry running shorts with me. So I use these for cross-country running, and the best thing about them is that I really actually don't need to wear underwear with them. So it's really nice because there's a great breeze that flows through there, and they're very, very comfortable to use when I'm walking and when I'm actually doing work. And so these are really nice because they have a little liner in there. I've got a couple other pairs that I'll take with me as well, and those will just be kind of reserved for the really, really hot days. And I've got my swimming shorts in there as well. And then over here, just something that I really like to do. I take tank tops with me as well. I don't plan on using them much, but just in case. Okay, so one of the biggest things that we'll actually take with us is wet wipes, okay? I literally bought these today for $1.40 at Target, and these things are lifesavers, quite literally. I bought 5 of them. It ran me, what, like $6, $7? Yeah, they're great to use. I take them all the time on backpacking trips, and I'll take them this weekend when I go to West Virginia. Probably use all of these when I go to West Virginia. Then I bought some dollar Kleenexes. These were literally 99 cents at Target. These things come in a package of 3, and they're very easy to take around, put in my backpack, whatever. They're very simple, very cheap, and they're lifesavers as well. And then over here, I've got a little coffee mug. I have my own little cup that I like to carry around just in case, so that way I'm never searching for a cup to use, and this thing is pretty much indestructible. I've taken this on all sorts of backpacking trips and camping trips, and it works out great for me. Inside, I've got a little deck of playing cards as well. So now over here, I've got some 550 cord. 550 cord is great to use for pretty much anything that you're doing. Always good to have. And then over here, I've got my little portable battery. I've got a small one that just connects to my phone. It's like an anchor one that I use in this little bag. And I love it because it usually charges my phone up to 1.5 times. And over here, I have some earbuds. Over here, I've got my wall outlet charger with USB on it, so that way I can connect my phone and charge it. Then over here, I've got my 2 charging cords. I have 6 feet long ones, and I've got 2 of them, and I love these. Then over here, I've got something very, very special. Then one of the actual necessities that you will need to take with you is something that's in this little red bag right here. All right, so this is an adapter and a converter for charging. All right, so what this does is essentially allows me to use my little US port charging little device that I plug into the wall and actually be able to use it in Kenya. Okay, so Kenyans use the Great Britain style of wall outlets here, and it looks something like this, which is not the same thing as the US charging outlets. So what I'll do here is I'll just select the right one, plug it in to my side, and then I'll just plug this sucker into the wall, and I won't have a problem with it there. One additional thing to make sure that you have is this is not a voltage adapter. This is a charging adapter, right? This has voltage adapting capabilities on it, and it can go anywhere from 100 to 200 volts. Depending on where you're at, what nation you're in, the voltage coming from the power outlets inside stores and from the walls will actually differ. So in Kenya, they have 240 volt power outlets. It's imperative that you make sure that your charging little port thing here has that capability of going up to 240 volts. Mine does, and it says right on the side. You need to make sure that you do that, otherwise you will. So then one of the next things that you're going to want to take with you is, as on the packing list, 2 rolls of toilet paper, okay? We don't know where we're going to be, or at least where we're going to be able to go to the bathroom that'll actually have toilet paper, so you really don't want to run in there and need it. So it's better to need it and not have to use it. So then over here we've got some sunblock. Any sunblock will do you. This is just my little one. And then over here, I've got my shaving kit that I think I already talked about. It's got my shave cream, my razor in there. Then in here, I've got my first aid kit. This is something that I take with me everywhere that I have, and it's something that I hopefully won't be able to use. But just in the case, I will take it with me. So then over here, coming up next, we've got a little ditty bag, and in this little ditty bag right here, I've got my my Bite MD. So if in case I do get mosquito bites, I can just put this. It's an external analgesic on it. And I just cover this guy in there, and it'll stop itching for me. I've got some chapstick, and then I've also got 2 different flashlights in here. Right, these are both headlamps. One of them is a really nice black diamond one that I take with me all the time backpacking. The other one's a little kind of crappy Coleman one, but I've got my regular and my backup on, so that way I'm never without a light. Then over here, we've got a towel. So I take this little microfiber towel with me everywhere. This is something that I got at REI, and I take with me on all my backpacking trips. I love this thing. It dries really quickly, and it soaks up a lot more water than you might think. All right, so I'll definitely be taking this with me. Then over here, I've got my toothbrush, toothpaste, some more little toiletry items in there. Make sure that you don't forget your little toothbrush and toothpaste that you got there. Then here I've got some deodorant as well with some antiperspirant on it. And over here, a pair of work gloves. I use these quite often. I think this is just a pair that I've got out. So then over here I've got my pair of work gloves as well. I love these work gloves. They're nice and padded and they're fully covering all of my fingers. You want to make sure that you have something that's really rough and stiff to protect your hands. Because once you get blisters on your hands, it's going to really, really suck and not going to be very, very comfortable for you at all. Over here, I've got my little smug, my little scarf little thing that I've got here. I can use this as a bandana, whatever I need to do with this. It's very, very versatile. Use this all the time. Love it to death. Anything like this, bandanas, scarves, stuff like that, stuff that you can wash will be perfect. Then moving on, over here, I've also got a little shampoo / body wash little thing here, this little kit that I've got by itself in its own. Also be taking with me this little hat that I've got here, Vans hat that I'll be wearing on the airplane. And I've got two other hats to take with. I've got one that's pretty cool, that's my Columbia hat that I always wear. And then the other one is my Philmont hat that's very nice and wide brimmed. It offers a lot of sun protection that I can just use very easily, and it's very light to carry. The other thing I've got here is a little knit cap that I like to wear when it's really cold out. I got this at Catalina actually, but this thing's great to use for those really cold nights. And then over here, I've got a little Crutches Graphica swag, and then a glasses case. I love carrying with me a glasses case with sunglasses in it. I've also got a little wipey cloth and a little glasses cleaner in there. Over here, I've got a little mess kit. This wasn't on the list, but I'm going to take it anyways because I love using this thing. No matter where we are, if we don't have a plate, or if there's a place where I need a plate, if there's like soup or something on like the side of the road and I really want a bowl of it and I don't have it, then I have my little kit that I take with me. This is actually a collapsible, not only a plate, but actually when you put it together, it forms itself into a bowl. So I've got a little bowl that I can drink or whatever out of, right? And then that's in its own plastic bag with a spoon in there as well. So that's what I'll be taking with, just as a very small little additional item. Then lastly over here, I've got a camp chair. I probably won't need to use this, but I'm going to take it just in case because I like being prepared for any eventuality. This thing's great. It's very, very lightweight. And it's very, very comfortable. So I'm just going to take this as a very small little add-on. So now the final thing that we've got to cover is the bags, right? So I'm going to be taking with me this very large duffel bag, which I'll check. And then finally, a little overhead suitcase compartment that I can just stick very easily with me on the plane. In these bags, whatever's not, or whatever doesn't have clothes in it, I will actually be putting all these dresses and stuffing them in there, right? I've got dresses, I've got box loads of dresses that I'll be stuffing, and then an entire bag full of about 400 whoppies that I'll also be stuffing in there. So that's it for the packing list. Okay, so now we're going to move on to food, right? So I've got a couple different things with me here. I love these Nature Valley biscuits with almond butter. I love these things. I'll take all of these with me in my suitcase or whatever. I'll probably take an entire box of Cliff Bars with me. These things can melt a little bit, so they might get a little sticky, but I'm okay with that because I love Cliff Bars. Then over here I've got some more, like some Costco Perfect Bars, I guess. Those things are pretty good. Over here, I've got some tortillas. I love tortillas, and especially with all the different types of food that we're going to be eating, having a little bit of like a bread element to like kind of go on the side of a lot of the soups, or all the vegetables that Giselle was talking about in his presentation will be very, very nice to have. Finally, for more of a nutritional value, I know I talked about kind of like the Nature Valley and Cliff Bars. Those things are good for kind of like basic proteins and just lots of sugar in those. But really, having beef jerky, and a lot of beef jerky, is something that I'm definitely going to want to take with me. Little packets like these are literally gold. for me, especially since we're going to have, or especially since we're not going to have a lot of beef or meat products with us wherever we go. Finally, I'm going to take some more Ritz crackers with me, just because I know that anywhere that we really go, it's always nice to have that additional kind of carbohydrate element.